Good evening, everybody. Welcome to day 23 of the Non-Essential Podcast. As those motorbikes go roaring past my house, it's been a few nights, I think, since I've heard them go past. But there they go again, breaking curfew and roaring around town. Unless it's cops, but I don't think they don't sound like cop motorbikes. So yeah, I think it is just people just breaking curfew, and really kind of breaking it quite significantly as well, because it's nearly 2 a.m. here in Melbourne. The curfew, begins at 8 p.m. and goes to 5 a.m. So, and I doubt whether they're just sort of couriering stuff around. So yeah, illegal activities going on around town. I want to say, have I said that this is called the Non-Essential Podcast? I think I have said that. The Non-Essential Podcast, day 23 of Lockdown 2 in Melbourne. I need to point out that the battery on my laptop is getting a bit iffy. I ordered one last night. It should be here. I reckon it'll be here tomorrow, a new battery. But if it's not, and this battery just completely shits itself, like it did sort of last night when I was putting together last night's episode, it just kind of conked out. Managed to get it going again, and it's obviously going now. But yeah, if I miss a day, it's going to be because of the battery. So yeah, when it all went down last night, I thought, oh fuck, through no fault of my own, this whole sort of what would you call this, what's the fucking word, this whole sort of competition with myself, really, of doing this every day, is gonna fall apart through no fault of my own. It's gonna be the battery shitting itself, which I've kind of expected anyway for a while. And even 23 days ago, when I kind of decided, all right, I'm gonna do this every day, knowing what was ahead, 42 days of recording and exporting and uploading and importing and all that sort of shit, I knew that it was going to put quite a strain on the laptop itself, which is an older laptop. It's I reckon I've had this one for nearly 10 years. I reckon I've had it for at least probably 8. And this will be the third battery that I would have had for it. This is the second. It's the second battery in there now. One battery died, the original battery, and now this second battery is dying. So the one that should come to my doorstep at some point tomorrow will be battery number 3. I do need to buy a new laptop, and it has been on my shopping list for at least the last 3 years. And it'll probably be one of the things that I do once lockdown is over. Get a new laptop, but I need to get everything off of this one first. It's obviously got a lot of audio and all that sort of shit. I've got a lot of important shit on here, and I need to kind of just move it all from this laptop over to my external hard drive, 2 terabyte external hard drive, which apparently is all you're ever gonna need ever in your life. I don't know. I reckon I can probably fill it with bullshit. And so yeah. So that's that. If shit just dies, that's why. So if this just stops recording right now and I don't get episode or day 23 up online, it's because the laptop has shat itself. So I've got that out of the way. Bit of house cleaning. Bit of a later start tonight for this episode. I've been waking up later. I think I said this in one of the first few days. I believe the best way to get through this lockdown is to be up all night and sleep all day. I feel like there's something about those nighttime hours that just go quicker than the daytime hours. So that's kind of my my MO, my modus operandi for this lockdown, the second half of it. Before this second lockdown, I was doing a pretty good job of living on normal people hours. I fluctuate a lot though, like I work a lot at night, so my hours are all over the fucking joint anyway to begin with. and have been for, the past fucking decade, work-wise. But even before that, I was up fucking all night, and, fucking... Most of the jobs I've had have been night work. I used to work at the supermarket, which I now live down the road from. It wasn't the case when I was working there, but it was all mostly night fill work. I like working nights. It just, life seems to go a bit slower at night. It's a bit more relaxing. It's a little less stressful. You're not sort of, you're not really in the rat race, but you're out there kind of doing your thing. So, yeah, but, a little bit of a later start. That is mostly due to me going down a bit of a YouTube rabbit hole for the last hour or so. So for the last hour or so, I've gone down a bit of a YouTube rabbit hole, and a bit of a sporting rabbit hole. And there are, as I get older, I find that I'm a bit more susceptible to, what's the term, crying like a little bitch over, things like movies and TV shows and sort of sporting events. I get a little bit more emotional as I get older, and the tears start to flow. And there are two sporting events that took place. One took place 20 years ago. 20 years ago, like in the next couple of weeks, I think it is. And the other one, I think, took place 22 years ago, I believe. I think I was 14. 22 years ago, I was fucking 14. Jesus. Wait, no. That's wrong. My maths is fucked. I don't know. But one of them is when Plugger broke the record. Growing up playing footy and being a full forward and being a fat kid. Plugger was a superstar, and I used to, I was bigger than a lot of the other kids when I was, 14, and I used to kick a lot of goals, and I played full forward, and actually won the league goal kicking when I was 14, and so Plugger, for me, I used to study him, and watch him very closely. I was and still am a Hawthorn fan. But I used to really hang out for Sydney Swans games because of Lockett, Even though we had Jason Dunstall at Hawthorn, but I think he retired in '96. And I was obviously a big Jason Dunstall fan as well. But Plugger, for me when I was 13, 14, it was like he was the man. And like I said, I used to study him, used to watch the way he would sort of lead, and the way he'd hold the footy. I went through a bit of a period of time where I was, my grip on the football when I was lining up for goal was Plugger's grip, that kind of love heart grip that he would have around the laces of the footy. And so when he broke the record, it was. And I still, every now and then, will kind of just look at that on YouTube and just start to well up, because it was, it was massive, and I remember watching that, and I was like, fuck, he did it. I think it was on a Sunday afternoon, and I think I had just gotten out of the shower from playing a game myself that morning, maybe, and got home, and I think I was just in time. Got out of the shower, I think, just in time to see him. Sink the slipper into a mongrel punt, because if you remember, it was a mongrel of a kick that just sort of floated through the goals. But and I was very happy that he didn't do it the week before, because the week before the Swans played Hawthorn, so he did it the week after against Collingwood. And is there, like, if you're going to break a record like that, that's who you want to do it against. You want to do it against those scumbags, Collingwood. So that always gets me a bit emotional, and I watched it and I looked at it and I'm like, I'm going to break that one day. I'm going to break Plugger's record. And then I didn't really grow much from age 14. Not in height, anyway. I think I'm actually the same height as I was when I was 14. I'm pretty sure I was about 5'8" when I was 14. and I think I'm somewhere between 5'8" and 5'10" now. I've definitely grown, so I haven't grown in height, but I've grown in width since then. That's one thing I know for sure. The gut has grown, and the girth has definitely grown. So that always gets me a bit emotional, Plugger breaking the record. And the other thing that gets me emotional, which is just what I've been watching before recording tonight, as I said, took place either this week or it's coming up to it's not this week. I think it's the week of lockdown, actually. The lockdown ending. And I went on a bit of a rabbit hole, down a rabbit hole, I should say. And TV is actually to blame for this, because I was watching TV, ABC comedy. It's basically the only channel I watch, and I watch Channel 7 when the footy's on. But and I happened to watch that Batman movie that was on last night on 7 Mate, because it was the one with Bane, and I just fucking love Bane. He's actually the background on my phone right now. I don't care how gay that sounds. No homo. Tom Hardy as Bane. It's a fucking great performance. And I do a very good Bane myself. And when you're jacked and bald like myself, and you can do the voice spot on, I have a great affinity to Tom Hardy's Bane. But anyway, back to the fucking sporting event that makes me cry every time I watch it. Cathy Freeman at the Sydney Olympics in the 400 metre final. And I kind of stupidly watched an NBC video of it, an American sort of broadcast of it, and it had a little story before the final itself, before the race, and it talked about sort of everything, the whole the flag, carrying the Aboriginal flag after winning gold at the Commonwealth Games, I believe it was, a few years earlier. And, old racist Arthur Tunstall having his 2 cents, and all the other old racists supporting him, and everybody that was young and hip was, of course, on Cathy's side. What happened to Arthur Tunstall? He died, right? I think he died a few years back. I mean, he was old then. He was an old man. An old racist man. Yeah, if ever anyone has ever had the weight of the world and certainly the weight of a nation on their shoulders, it was fucking Cathy Freeman at the 2000 Olympics. 10 days before the final, she lit the torch, obviously the cauldron, the spaceship, the UFO fucking spaceship that didn't work for about 10 minutes. It just fucking sat there, if you remember that. It broke down. And then she comes out and just fucking smashes the 400 metre final. Every time I watch it, I get fucking tears. And I was just watching it before recording, and I was fucking crying like a fucking baby. And so, yeah, I think on the 13th of September. Well, it is the 13th of September. I don't know why I say I think. I know. I saw the ad just a couple of hours ago. I haven't forgotten. There's something about some documentary about Cathy Freeman. It must be the date. If it's not the actual date of her winning the 400 metre final at the Sydney Olympics, it's definitely that week. For some reason, I've got the 17th. I feel like it was the 17th of September 2000. I don't know, maybe it was the 13th. But yeah, check that out. There you go, ABC. I'm doing some fucking promo for you here on the Non-Essential podcast. But yeah, just an unbelievable... Because it was more than just a sporting moment, And watching one of the videos, there was like a front-on shot as she's coming down the straight. But I wasn't even watching her. I was watching all the people in the background, rising as one. The nation rising as one. And John Howard's there, and he's fucking loving it. And Cathy's parents and her brother are there, and they're obviously loving it. And yeah, the nation rising as one as Cathy comes down the fucking straight to win the 400 metres at the Sydney 2000 Olympics. An incredible sporting and incredible sporting moment, and an incredible sort of human moment. Because, like I said, yeah, it was more than just a sporting event, really. And that's the thing about sports, is that it often just exceeds sport itself, and that's what's great about sport. You can watch, all the movies and all that sort of shit that you want, but in terms of, almost like real life drama, there's not too many things like sport to kind of, bring real life drama to you. So, yeah, incredible fucking moment. And it always makes me cry like a little bitch. Alright, there we go. I don't know what the fuck happened there. So that's it. I might call it an ep on this one. I've gone longer than I did last night when I really couldn't be fucked. I'll leave you with a bit of my thoughts on Plugger breaking their record and Cathy Freeman winning gold. A couple of things that make me blubber. It's now, because I'm going to call it an episode because it's now 3 a.m. I started this episode at 2 a.m. I think. I think I said that at the start, that it was like 2 a.m. But then I stopped in the middle because I had food cooking, and I had to tend to that and then obviously eat it. So here we are now at 3 a.m. So yeah, I'm not going to go any more than this. Yeah, tune in tomorrow. This has been day 23. And I gotta say, today just kind of flew by, I think. Yesterday dragged on a little bit, but I feel like today was a pretty quick day. So hopefully they just get quicker and quicker. And I actually just crossed off on my calendar just before. I crossed off yesterday's day, the 24th, the Monday, and had a look at the rest of the week, and I'm like, we've got one more week of this month, just to pardon me, a few more days, and then just a couple of quick little weeks there in September, and we're done, hopefully. So yeah, but I still think that week from the 7th to the 13th of September is gonna fucking drag. I still think that's gonna fucking happen. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We'll see what happens on that week. But all I know is I feel like today went pretty quickly, and that's all you can really hope for in times like this, is that it just goes quickly. So that's day 23. Tune in tomorrow for day 24 of the Non-Essential Podcast. We're all in this together. We're nearly there. This podcast is brought to you by COVID-19 and the Labor government here in Victoria and Dan Andrews, and presented by myself, Matty K. Yeah, now I'm just fucking crapping on. Anyway, alright, talk to you tomorrow.